Tell them run it off.
What is going on? What is going on, everybody in the house? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it off.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Tech Thursday. Tech Thursday, and I am your host, Cleveland Terry, CT, whatever you want to call me. That's my name right there. Tech Nerd. Thanks for hanging out today. It's going to be, I don't want to say it's going to be a quick one, but we'll see how it goes. I'd like to keep this one relatively short today. I have stuff to do, clients to meet with, places to be. I have to prepare for a crap ton of parties this weekend. I have, what do I have here? 10 events on Saturday and one on Friday. Have anything on Sunday? I don't even know sometimes. And one on Sunday. So 12 events to prepare for. I say it every week because I'm very busy. That's probably one of the hardest parts of doing this type of, I wouldn't even call it a side, hold on. I wouldn't even call this a side project. It's just literally, see, this is what I did not want. There we go. Glad I looked. When you get to a certain point that you strive to get to, like you're working hard to get to that level. When you finally get there, it's great. It's exactly where you want to be. Exactly where you want to be. But there's also the other side of it where you're never going to hear me say, oh, I'm so sick of this. It's not what I'm saying. I wanted to get to this level. But there's a lot of work involved in this level. There's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of meetings. There's a lot of preparing. Preparation is so much. It just takes a lot of energy. That's all. And every so often, as an independent owner, you want to go, hey, I just don't want to take phone calls today. You get to a point where you're like, oh, man, I just want a day where nobody calls in. There's a flip side to that. When nobody's calling in and you're like, God, I wish people would call in. You can't win is what I'm saying. There's no good point. Either you are successful and super successful, or you're trying to be super successful. There's no in between. There's no in between, unfortunately. So, it's one of those things where you can complain, but you can't really complain. It's like after we got out of the pandemic and there were so many parties, so many people wanting to have parties, everybody calling, phone wouldn't stop ringing, emails wouldn't stop coming in. And there was nobody you could complain to except for other vendors. That was your sounding off board. A party planner would call me and you could just hear it in their voice, and I would just say, I don't know how long I can keep this up. And they were like, oh my God, I thought it was just me. This is too much. It was too many parties. It was too much business. The demand had outstripped the supply across the board. And I always think about the Incredible Hulk. I don't know if it was Incredible Hulk at that time. It might have just been Hulk. But anyway, the Ang Lee version, the one that people didn't like. And I remember at a certain point in time, it's at the end of the movie, and his dad, crazy Nick Nolte, is trying to take all the power from, was it Eric Bana? Eric Bana is Hulk, trying to take it away from him. And at a certain point, Eric Bana's Hulk's like, you know what? Fine. You can have it. Have it all. And I just always remember it just, the guy keeps saying, no, it's too much. It's too much. That's how I felt after the pandemic let up. It was just too much. You know, the phone wouldn't stop ringing, which is why we went to Calendly. That was one of the first things where I said, I cannot maintain this. This level is too much. I'm not getting a hold of people. They're not getting a hold of us because I'm on the phone with other clients. And well, I can't keep it up because we had a thing. We had a thing in the beginning. Because we do have a small admin and it costs money. People are like, why don't you just bring in other people? Because it costs money. It costs money to do these things, you know, and you lose some of your consistency. And when I couldn't stand the phone call thing. Absolutely could not stand the phone call thing. The phone call thing was, again, like, as I just said, somebody would call you, leave a message. You'd call them back. They wouldn't be available. You'd leave a message. Another phone call would come in. You'd answer that phone call. Maybe an hour later, they'd call you back. Now you're on the phone. Can't take that call. It goes to voice message. Maybe another couple of calls come through in the same time. You finally call them back. They're not available. Goes to voice message. You leave a voice message. This is a completely unproductive way of doing business. Because what happens is two things happen. One, you never connect properly. Everything's all out of whack. And then two, if you don't connect, then people say this thing. Oh, I tried to call them. They're hard to get a hold of. You know, hopefully they'll, you know, you can talk to them. They're just hard to get a hold of. And that was starting to become a thing with us. And I just said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. So when we started to move to Calendly, we essentially, you know, remind me later. We essentially basically turned off our phones. The voice message basically says, hey, you know, thanks for calling. You know, please go to our website, you know, schedule a call. First, go request a brochure because that's the first thing you need to do. We don't want to talk to you if you haven't seen our prices. That's silly. You know, let's go from there. And we were getting a lot of resistance at first. A lot of resistance. Is this the only way I can get a hold of you? I can't get a hold of you when I need you. You know, that's a problem for me. And then I said, well, first off, there's literally 3 different ways you can get a hold of us. You can try to call, which you're not going to get a hold of us because I'm on calls all day. You can schedule a call, which you are guaranteed to get a call back from. You can email, and you can text message. All of those things are ways that you can get a hold of us. So it's not like you're in the dark. But people didn't like the fact that they couldn't just pick up a phone and call me, and then I would answer. And then my answer was like, well, I wasn't going to answer your phone call anyway. I'm on the phone. If you want a phone call, you go through this. So what I've learned is all of the younger people, when I say younger, I'm probably thinking like, I don't know, maybe 40 and under. Okay. Maybe go up to like 45. All of those people love it. I get more, oh my God, this is such a great way of doing business. You know, they go online, they request a brochure, it automatically goes to them. Another day goes by. We follow up with another email that basically says, hey, you know, everything good. You have any questions? Please go ahead and schedule a call with us. And then they click on the link. They pick a time that they want to choose, not a time that's on me or time. It's only on them. They pick a time. If the time comes around, I call them. They answer their phone. How much easier do you want it to be? You know, so they all love it, absolutely love it. It just makes everybody feel like we are. First off, it makes people feel like we're bigger than we really are. Okay, and then two, nothing gets lost, because that was kind of the key. Nothing gets lost when your phone calls are coming in and you can't get to them, and all of a sudden you try to call them back and they're like, oh, sorry, we already booked somebody last week. Nothing gets lost. And in my mind, and I might be wrong for this, if somebody calls you and whatever, say they don't leave a message, they just keep trying to call back, because that's what some people do. They just keep trying to call, thinking that you'll answer at some point. And I've done that before. I'll tell that story in a minute. Basically, I lost my train of thought. That's okay. That's okay. It happens. But I've had people call multiple times, and I'm just like, I see the phone. I see every phone call that comes in, and all my clients are labeled. So if I know that I need to talk to one, their name will pop up on my phone, so I can just answer it. No big deal. But this phone call kept coming through over and over again, and I let it go like 3 times. Then the 4th time it came through, I was like, dude, I am over this. Check 1, 2. How can I help you? Hey, yeah. Oh, I was trying to book an event, and I stopped her. I said, oh, okay, you're trying to book an event, because I thought somebody was dying. What do you mean? You've called 4 times. Oh, I was, and then it's just a whole bunch of BS. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Because in my opinion, if a client wants you specifically, your company, your work, they're not going to go book somebody else because you didn't answer your phone when they called. They're going to follow the chain if they really want you. I want people that want me to work for them. I don't want randoms where they're just like, oh yeah, well, I have a party and blah, blah, blah. If I am one of 10 people, and if you call me, and let's just say I call you back in 3 hours, if you tell me I've already booked somebody, you didn't want me anyway. You just wanted a DJ. Anybody could do that job. And if you just want a DJ, chances are you don't want to pay my rates anyway. So, you pick and choose your battles. This way, in all honesty, I truly believe that it gives us a different level of mystique. Because I've had people say, why is this the only way I can get a hold of you? This is tough. And I said, because I have 500 clients. You're just one of 500 clients. This is the way that I keep my sanity. And then they're like, oh, because a lot of people, they don't realize. They just think you're just being difficult. You know what I mean? Why are you being so difficult? And when I tell them the amount of clients that I have, then it stops them in their tracks. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah. I had a party planner that was literally like, I don't like your phone system. I don't like the way it works. And my partner was at the party, and he goes, oh, you don't like the way it works? Okay. And he pulls up the calendar, and then he opens up the week and he says, all these dots represent phone calls. Or meetings. And he shows her, goes, when should we call you? Show us in here when we should call you. And then she looks at it and goes, I didn't know. Okay, I get it now. So I guess ultimately what I'm saying is you set your own rules. Okay? Your rules for your business are for your business. Just because somebody else does business a certain way doesn't mean that's the right way. There's no right or wrong way to run a business, as long as you're, taking care of your clients and communicating with them. The way you communicate is 100% up to you. 100% up to you. So as much as people think, since we are in a service industry, that we work for clients, we work for the people that pay us. Half true. We work for those clients. We work together. There's no, you're my subservient. You're my slave. You do what I say because I give you money. Can't even be a slave because you're getting paid. But you see what I'm saying? There's no, this is teamwork. This is a team thing. You hire me, you hire the party planner, and all these things because you want a successful party. So you are hiring me for my expertise. You're hiring the party planner for their expertise. You're hiring the photographer for their expertise. The funny thing about expertise is I have rarely seen a client ever tell a photographer how to take a picture. I've never seen somebody say, hey, you think you can get it lower, maybe at an angle? Hey, can you go up to the rooftop and get it? What lens are you using? Oh, you're using an 85? I prefer a 128. Can you shoot me with a 128, please? Like, I've never seen that. But because people hear music, they're professional DJs. Anyway, you know what's funny? So last week, I did the show, and again, I have people that watch the show later on. You know, they watch the replay, the rebroadcast, and one person in the comments tried to timestamp me and said, "Hey, this is 17:30 after the rant and all the blah blah blah." Don't do that. And I laughed because I thought it was funny, but don't do that. Don't timestamp me. Everything I say is important. Just because I'm the rant is a part of the show. If you don't know the rant's a part of the show, there's a problem. Because there will be more than one rant. And rant is a strong term. The stories are a part of the show. It's not just about tech. It says Tech Thursday on there, but we are a part of it. This is one big story time. And I'm going to tell you this, I can pretty much guarantee you will remember the stories over me talking about the Rain 4 for a minute. I guarantee you. I guarantee. Stories connect. And that's the way I do it. It's like the opening bit on the Late Show before the guests show up. Exactly, Max SPL. Exactly. And the reason why I did start this way, and that was perfect, Max, because when I used to get on, I started on Twitch. Remember, I didn't do the YouTube thing first. I was on Twitch doing the show. And it takes people forever to get on to get on. So I was literally talking to nobody for like 15 minutes at a time. 15 minutes. So yeah, I kind of got used to it. So when I do the Thursdays, yes, I know that more people are on faster, but if it's just a tech show, when I tell you this, I would burn out fast. I mean it. I would legitimately not want to do it anymore if it were all just tech. You know, it just, because a lot of the things in the tech shows, even though we do talk about tech and we talk about stuff, a lot of the stuff that I talk about, it's already on the videos. So why do I technically need to talk about that in reality? Now, there's some things that are outside of the video, fine. But a lot of times people just don't either absorb the videos correctly, or they just don't listen. A lot of people don't listen. You know, a lot of people think they see the video. Look, when a video is, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes long, I know there's the potential for people to just kind of, you know, zone out, or they're doing other things and they're not truly focused. So then they'll ask a question, which I've already answered. So I know that happens. I'm not an idiot about it. You know, but there's a lot of people when they watch videos will jump ahead. Oh, let me see this. Let me see that. You're jumping ahead. You're going to miss stuff, you know, and I know this. I do know this. I don't take it personally. I know how it works. If I took it personally, when I tell you, uh, as a YouTube person, there's things you cannot focus on because it always goes wrong. One of the biggest things that you can't focus on is average view duration. That will kill you as a YouTuber. Average view, because let's say the video is, 16 minutes long. I mean, especially when I'm doing a review. And then you'll see the average view duration and it'll say something like 7 minutes. I could take that and go, oh my God, you hate my videos. But I know that's not the case. It's just some people might hop on for a very specific type of thing. And once they get what they need out of it, they're out of there. They don't care about the rest. What does it say? I want this product. I think I like this product. Let's hear what CT has to say about it. Okay. Everything he's saying is pretty positive. I haven't really heard a lot of negatives. Okay. I'm cool. I'm going to go buy it. I know that happens, and then later on they're like, hey, why does it do this? And I'm like, if you just would have stayed in the video, you would have seen that. I always try to start with the good first. So people take the good and then they take off. That happened. That happened with my virtual DJ review videos. I had 2 virtual DJ review videos. And this is a point that I'm going to make, and then we're going to move on to some tech. I had 2 videos. It was part 1 and part 2. The first video was like all the stuff I love about it. Okay. All the good stuff. The second video was the bad parts and things that I feel that they can improve. Okay. So everybody watched the first video, right? All the VDJ people. I told you, it's amazing. It's great. It's great. Right. It happens. This is the best video you ever made, which always makes me laugh. Every time I say something good about a product, it's the best video I've ever made. When I say something bad, it's like, oh, you pioneer DJ shill. You hate rain. You hate Denon. Like, no, these are my issues. And then I'll say something else. Oh, the rain. This is the best video ever. Like, it's not really the best video ever. I just complimented the hardware a lot, and that's what you loved. So the second video comes around, and that's all the bad parts. And it's not necessarily bad parts. But everybody's, they're like, oh, well, why didn't you say this? Why didn't you say that? I'm like, it's in the other video. It's in the other video. It's in the other video. But I couldn't make an 80-minute video. That'd be dumb. So I know how people work. People are funny that way. If I say something positive about a product, it's the best video ever. I know this. Somebody was mentioning about the NAMM show. I don't know what that question is about the NAMM show. I guess we should probably travel up and see what comments are. I mean, we're well beyond the NAMM show, and we've discussed the NAMM show already. So I'm not actually sure what your question is. I am happy that the NAMM show is back to January. That's going to be much better, just in general. Not that I mind April. I mean, because in January, sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's not. The weather's always a little crappy. I should know it's my birthday month. But that's the month that everybody goes to NAMM. It was always harder since the pandemic to do reviews on products in January, knowing that people aren't going to be able to see these products for a while. And at least at NAMM, when we would review a product in January, you'd be able to go and see them. So with NAMM being in April of this year, was it April, March, whatever? I don't remember. I think it was April. By the time you went to NAMM, besides, like the Hercules, and a couple of some things from Chevet, you'd seen everything. So now it's more of just a confirmation of a product that you thought you wanted. But, yeah, it's just different. It's different when everybody knows what's going to be there. I can imagine it's probably like an iPhone, show. They always do their show in August or September, and then they talk about all the iPhone stuff, and you learn everything. Oh my God, this is amazing! I got next week. Next week they go on sale. I got to buy them. That's kind of what it used to be like. Now it's like the iPhone's been on for 6 months. And now you're like, do I want to buy it or do I just want to wait to see what else is coming out? So it kind of, it kind of tarnished a little bit. Okay. So, we got a super chat in the building. Who gave that super chat? The Donald with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. We should probably talk about this. Super chats are amazing. Memberships are amazing. This is how, I stay productive. This is how I continue to do these shows and put these things on. So I appreciate all my members. I appreciate all the people that give super chats. It tells me that you actually appreciate the show. So the membership button, still haven't figured it out yet. It either says join or it says member. I believe if you're on a computer, it says member. And if you're on your phone, I believe it says join. It might say member. You click on there, you have a couple of options, and it just supports the channel. So I appreciate everybody that is a part of it, including J Style Sounds, Sobra, Harmony, DJ Keith Just. I saw Ruben in there. I saw Philip Tan, Matt Ames, DJ Farns. These are all Moberry. These are all members to the community, and it really does make my life amazing, and I appreciate it. Oh, I have no Stream Deck. I'm trying to hold on. Let me just go to my default. There we go. Okay. I'm trying. My goal here is to hit like 500 members because with the memberships I'm less reliant on the industry to supply me with gear. That's the biggest thing. Not that I like my relationships. I'm not saying I don't, but there have been times now where products that I feel that I should have gotten, maybe I didn't get, for whatever reason. Perfect example. I'm still working on getting a mix on. That's a thing. I literally just had a conversation with my guy at Reloop. I told him, I said, look, I'm gonna stop asking for Reloop products from your company. I'm gonna stop asking for it, and then I said, I'm kind of serious, but I'm also kind of joking because it's a frustrating place that I don't think I need to be in. I just don't think I need to be in, and I don't need to do this much work to obtain gear. I feel like why would my MacBook go off when it's closed? That's weird. Anyway, I don't feel like I'm at that level. And I know they have a way of doing things. Fine. I don't want to be catered to. I don't want to be, oh, hey, Cleveland Terry. Like, I don't care about all that. But I think I've earned a certain level of, hey, oh, you'd like some of our gear? Okay, let's take care of you. I think I've earned that. But having said that, I have plenty of retailers that I can get, the product from. The review is not going to change because I get a product from a retailer or I get a product from a company. The review is not going to change, but I don't know. Has anybody received a Mixon 8? Anybody that ordered a Mixon 8 in the chat? I'm just curious. Have you received your Mixon 8? I just saw the announcement that Serato, they released a version of Serato for the Mixon. So I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on whatsoever. Okay. All right. All right. So let's take a look at some questions here. DJ Lab in the building. What's going on, fam? Do you know about the Mixstream Pro Go not having kills on EQ with current 3.0 firmware? I do not know that. You must be talking about full kills. I thought the full kill was in the software. So that must have been a glitch or an oversight, I should say. You know, they were focusing on a lot of stuff on 3.1. So maybe, I'll have to turn on and see. I'll have to turn on and see. Okay. And by the way, if you aren't following DJ Lab, follow DJ Lab. You know, he has some great content, some great points. So make sure you are at least taking a look at him. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Why does my Stream Deck keep restarting itself? Okay. Let's see if it does it this time. I might have to reset the whole thing. Okay. We do have Rock City, Isomatic, King Biggs, Max SPL, Brian Owens, Nathan Quintana, DJ Theo, Kylie Palm, hey there, Josie, Leon Billups, Ernesto, Mixmaster G, what's going on, fam? I thought the rants were like commercials. Time to go to the toilet, walk the dog, grab a beer. Hey man, my rants have value. They have value. No matter, I know people, they have value. My rants don't go off the ledge. There's always a point to my rants. At least I believe that anyway. Okay. Where are my questions? Okay, Soul Brother says, do you think with your gigs being mostly on the weekend, have you considered adjusting your YouTube day to allocate more time to your money generating commitments? Let me read that again. Adjusting your YouTube day to allocate more time to your money generating commitments. I don't understand what your question is. Are you saying that because my gigs are on the weekend, I should spend more time working on my client stuff? I feel that's what you're saying. And if that's what you're saying, I do that. My entire day is dedicated to client stuff. The YouTube stuff, I typically shoot my YouTube stuff at night. I don't typically shoot in the day. I can't get my mind right usually during the day because I do have all my client work. So that's when I shoot my YouTube videos usually around, in all honesty, 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I shoot them for, say, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour. And then let's say that's 9 or 10. By 10 o'clock, now it's 10:30, 11. I spend an hour or so editing the video and then I post it, which typically pops up at about, 7 o'clock in the morning, the following day. So that's when I do that. I think that's what you're saying, Sobra. Yeah, my entire week is dedicated to my clients. The only day I just don't take phone calls on Mondays, but I'm answering emails. I mean, every time there's 30 emails and you answer them all, you shut it down for an hour and there's 30 more emails. So, it's a part of the business. I think that's what you're saying. I believe, I don't know why you would think that, it's different. I literally have one live show on Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I would hardly call that, too much time out of the week, and, this is part of my job. Okay. I do make money on YouTube. So I can't just disregard YouTube because, work people are always calling. Work people are always emailing. Okay. That doesn't change. It doesn't change if I'm on here from 10 to 12 or if I'm not. They're always calling. So you have to have a certain level of, I need my own personal time. And this is a little bit of my own personal time, because by the time I'm done with the show, my calls are all set up. Again, I don't do anything. I have my calendar's already built in. I have automations because you work smarter, not harder. That's the key. Why bang your head on a wall just because, so I believe that's what you were saying, Sobra. Brian Owens, wedding in Chicago was the only way to make money in the 90s DJing. Clubs didn't pay enough to not work. now can't get any work in Chicago since everyone is a DJ. That's a tough one, Brian, because I'm gonna say something that may be considered tough love, but it's more just honesty, just kind of brutal honesty, because I think I would want to hear the same thing. Uh, Everybody's a DJ, fine, but not everybody's you. Not everybody's a good DJ. Not everybody, can command a dance floor. And if everybody's getting booked, two things are happening. One, either you're not doing your due diligence, hitting up these clubs, going to the clubs, seeing the clubs, being there, networking, doing the thing, right? That is what required. It is what is required for people to book you. They need to see your interest at their events. If you're never there, why would they hire you? So that's the one thing. A second thing is, I don't know. I don't know personality, but maybe when I say you, I'm talking about in general. Maybe the person's unlikable. Maybe they come off the wrong way. They come off with ego. Like, why am I not getting this gig? I should be on this party. And people are like, everybody's dancing. Why do we need you? And then the third one is as unfortunate as this sounds, maybe they're better than you, or they're just as good as you with very little baggage. There's typically a reason. I've said this. I'll say it again. Every time I've gone to an event, every time I've gone to a club or whatever, I know I have a name, I have a reputation. I'm not saying that doesn't play into it, but every single time I've gone, I've been asked to be booked on their events. Every time. Now, the trick is, the key is, you cannot just be a name. Okay. You can't be just a name where they're like, oh, hey, Cleveland Terry. Oh, it'd be great to have you on here. Yeah, this would be great. You have a name and, blah, blah, blah. That's the one part. That's the get me in the door part. But if I don't do a good job on the event, at the club, if I don't kill it, I'm not getting another booking. You get what I'm saying? So there's a middle ground there. There's give and take from both sides. So after I went to this one spot where I saw DJ Neva from the Road Podcast. The guy walked up. He's like, hey man, Cleveland Terry, what's going on? I want to get you in here. Okay, great. And then I did the party because the booking was like 2 months later. And I do the event and I kill it, where even the manager's like, oh my God, we got to get you back in here. That's great, blah, blah, blah. Had I sucked, it wouldn't have mattered. You get what I'm saying? So there's a two prong here. Everybody's a DJ, but not everybody's a good DJ. And you have to know yourself that you are a good DJ, but you can't go into it with this way of like, well, I shouldn't have to do these things. I shouldn't have to be on the grind because I'm a good DJ and people should just know. People don't know. People don't know. And the people that are DJing are the people that talk the most. The people that have the most exposure, that are in that person's face, that are at the nightclub, that are showing support for that nightclub. You want that gig? Go to the club. And I'm generalizing. Okay. So I don't want you to take it and go, oh my God, I'm generalizing for everybody in here. Okay. Let's see here. DJ. Oh my God. So DJ Farnes just gifted 5 memberships. First off, I didn't even know you could do that on YouTube. I'm learning stuff as we go. I thought that was only a Twitch thing. So there are 5 people in here that now have memberships. I believe that's how it works. That's how it works on Twitch anyway. Thank you so much, DJ Farnes. I appreciate that. I honestly appreciate that. Okay. So, Nathan says, bro, I want to start. How is what's a lot of words here. I want to start. What's the best software to use? I bought an RX3. What's a good place I can get music from? You bought an RX3 and you're just getting started? That's impressive. That's really impressive. First off, I would say go with typically speaking, there are 3 ways on the RX3. You can use Serato. You can use Serato, you can use Virtual DJ, you can use Rekordbox, and you can use the thumb drives. You have every opportunity with the RX3. I'm not going to say which one is better. They all have their pros and their cons, but I would honestly say the easiest way is probably to start with like Rekordbox, because you already have Rekordbox for your thumb drives. If you're using Rekordbox to maintain your catalog, then you just plug in your computer and you're off to the races and everything is the same. So I'd probably say start with Rekordbox on that one, but it does work with Serato and it does work with Virtual DJ too. There is no one great software you'll never hear me say one piece of software is the best software. It's because there is no such thing. I know this for a fact. There are some people that love Virtual DJ, and to them, it's the best software. I think Virtual DJ is great. I just can't use it on a weekly basis. It just doesn't work for me. The flow doesn't work for me. So everybody's different. You got to figure out what's right for you. The good news is all those pieces of software that I just mentioned, Rekordbox comes with it. Does the RX3 require a outstanding license? No, I don't believe so. I think the RX3 will take Serato right off the bat. Yes, it will. It will take Serato right off the bat. So all of these things are free. So, give it a try. Okay. Philip Tan in the building. If I didn't say hi, what's going on? Joe Z says, I got a question for the Flex 10. Besides the 4-bar loop button, is there a half and double? I hate the extra step of pressing shift if it takes 2 hands for one function. I don't have the Flex 10 anymore, but I do believe there's a button for the loop and you want to do half and double. I believe that if you go into the settings of the Flex 10 settings through Pioneer, there's a little Flex 10 app. You can default that. So hold on. Okay. All right. Actually, while I'm doing this, hold on a minute. All right, what is going on, everybody? It's your man, Cleveland Terry. We are at the Chevet booth, and we are checking out some of the new stuff that they have. First off, I got to talk about this guy right here. You know what this is? This is the Gig Bar case. It is a hard case. Hard case. Go ahead, open it up. Open it up. Oh. It is about damn time. About damn time. Also, I want to show you something else because I'm shocked. Remember in my video last time, guys, I talked about the fact that the Gig Bar Move was cool with the ILS, but it needed its own controller. If I didn't want to rock the Gig Bar, like maybe I just wanted to rock some totems. Guess what? Bam! Bam! ILS command. This is exactly what Chevet needed. Exactly. Okay, so I can't find it, but I always thought that there was a default. There's a default loop in the Flex 10 settings. Since I don't have the Flex 10, I think I'm missing some stuff. But obviously, if you're looking at the wait a minute. One of them, I'm reviewing too much gear. I think the Opus is the one where you can't change the loop value. It's the default is what the default is, but that only applies to the beat jump settings. But I believe it can be MIDI mapped. So there's always the MIDI mapping part. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Any updates on your Mac's furniture? Says Dustin Masters. I have my top. I'm still waiting for the bottoms. Like I said, there was a little shipping mishap where I received somebody's black legs and they received my white legs. This can be on so many levels. So they're sending me out another box of white legs, or the box. I just received my my totems, which I had not opened yet. I will say one thing off the bat. The box is heavier than I anticipated for totems. So I haven't opened it up yet. I've just been right now. If you look in my warehouse, because of the amount of parties and the amount of stuff we have on them, there's stuff everywhere. And I can't open up another box and have more stuff around. And so next week we are cleaning house, because we moved in maybe a couple of months ago, but haven't had a chance to really truly get organized, because we literally moved in the middle of the season and we're working our butts off. So there's just stuff everywhere. We still don't even have desks. Like, we don't have time. So next week we clear everything out. Even like my system is there because I have a roadie for this weekend. So I'm gonna have to keep my system there so the roadie can pick it up, or else they have to come to my house, and that's just weird. So yeah, my whole system is there. Okay. So I'm still waiting, Dustin. I had hoped that I would have the legs sooner than later. As a matter of fact, I got to text Danny, because that was my question. Hey, how long is it gonna take? Because when I got it originally, it probably took, I don't know, 2 months, a month and a half, 2 months to get to. So I'm hoping it doesn't take that long, because if it takes that long, I mean, legitimately, I'm going to be out of the season. Our seasons, it's a little different this year. We're having actually a really good dead time, because normally speaking, our seasons go with the kids. They go with school. So we do a lot of barn bat mitzvahs. So people don't typically do a lot of barn bat mitzvahs outside of the school season. So that means that mid-August to mid-June is our season. And then after that, that mid-June, full July, beginning August, we typically don't have anything. It's like our time off. We're like school teachers. This year is different because we've picked up a lot of weddings for July, which is all we really want weddings for, is July. We don't want weddings during the season. It is what it is. Anyway, so if they don't come until June, I won't have a chance to test them. I won't have a chance to put them on a party, because we do have weddings in July, but I'm gone. I'm on a dance convention vacation trip for 2 whole weeks in July. I'll be in Florida, which I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to Florida. Now we're in the Disney World area, so it's not. I don't want to go to Florida. Sorry, guys. Sorry if you're a Floridian. I think your state sucks. I think your politics suck. So I don't want to do anything in that state. In all honesty, if my kids did not have this dance convention that we are already signed up for, I would not go to Florida. I went to Disney World last year. Never really have to go to Disney World again. Your state sucks. I would rather go to Alabama than go to Florida. That's how bad your state is now. Okay. All right. I know both of these. Or do you ever have added chapters? DJ Matt Ames says, do you ever have added chapters? Yeah, that's a nightmare. I don't have time for that. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't want chapters. I did not go through all this work to have you skipping forward and back. In all honesty, if I do a video, the time that it takes me to do that video, the length of that video is the length that I intended. You know how I know that's the length I intended? Because when I first start editing the video, it's 2 to 3 to 4 times longer. And I have shrank that. I have done pioneer videos where there was literally 90 minutes of footage of me talking, right? And I compressed that down to say 30 minutes. So you take 90, press it down a third of the time. Oh my God. That means that's the best that I could do, where it keeps a flow to the review, because you don't want it to be really choppy and people can't get a feel from going from point A to point B. So my videos are that you hit play, and then at the end, all of it is valuable, in my opinion. If it's not, different story. But you know, it is what it is. Okay. Let's see here. Where are we at? Reloop's video with Carlo Antonito in the mix on 8 is fire. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Matt Ames. I haven't seen it yet. Need some more loyalty badges, Cleveland. I'll get on that. Actually, I will get on that. Sweetwater says June-ish for me. Okay. Benny, thank you for the compliments. Appreciate that, pal. Okay. Let's see here. Been looking at the Flex 4 is the only loop button it doesn't have. Okay, we already went through that because he said it again. DJ Lab, that's funny. Okay. DJ Theo says, I'm a Serato user and I use the SRT 1000. Okay. Hi, Theo. That's great. I have one wedding this weekend. I'm using the Wolf Mix. Hey, Theo, feel free to put that in a whole paragraph. Like, I'm good at reading. You don't have to break it out like that for me. Using the Wolf Mix for lighting control. Okay. Is there a question, Theo? Are you just breaking down your gear for me? Because I'd like to answer your question if there is an actual question in there. Oh, I see. Sobra. No, it's not close. It's not too close to weekend gigs. No, I can't change the day. This is my day. It is honestly, Sobra, the only day that I'm consistently available for. Every other day is a nightmare. I don't want to do Mondays because that's like my day off, and I don't want to. I want to have a day where I don't have to think about anything. Because I'm already thinking about Tuesday, so I don't want to think about that. Thursday, it's the day. I've jumped around. Thursday is the day. Don't ask me why. Thursday is the day. It just works. So that's the schedule. Yeah, but it's not so that it's too close. In all honesty, if you haven't gotten as a mobile DJ or as a multi-op like I am, if you haven't gotten the majority of your stuff done Tuesday or Wednesday, you're already just setting up yourself for disaster. Because by Thursday, if you don't know, oh, I need this, I need that, you don't have time to do any of this stuff. Friday, you're killing yourself. Things end up not where they're supposed to be. And next thing you know, people are picking up gear and all the stuff's not there. By Thursday, everything's locked in. Tuesday, everything is kind of set up, designed. Everything we know what we need for that weekend. Then if somebody says, hey, by the way, this speaker is malfunctioning, or we're missing this cord or we're missing that cord, I have a couple of days to obtain that gear, to buy new gear, whatever, to get it into the bags. That's my Thursday. My Thursdays after my calls and stuff, I'll head back into the office. I'll replenish the things I knew I've been waiting for, from Amazon or whatever, and call it a day. Yeah, but Thursday's the easiest day, and Fridays a no. And I don't do Fridays because a lot of times I might do gigs on Thursdays. I might do gigs on Friday. I have a gig this coming Friday. So I don't. Crate Hackers in the building. What's going on, guys? Make sure you guys are following Crate Hackers. Especially if you're new to DJing. Somebody up there was saying they're new to DJing. Give Crate Hackers a look. They do great work. I myself have dabbled in Crate Hackers. Check it out. That came off sounding really weird. Okay. Let's see. Nathan Eric says, have you tried your new M1 Mac in the extreme heat in SoCal, Arizona? How did it respond? Well, it hasn't been really, really hot yet because this has been a really weird year for weather. I mean, the fact that it's May and we're still getting potential thunderstorms and rain showers is weird. You know, I know June gloom is a thing, but there's a thing. April showers, May flowers. It's been a weird, weird, weird year. So I have had it outside because I'm going to say something blasphemous to you DJs out there. There are times when I DJ without a tent. There's a lot of times that I DJ without a tent. So I have had it in direct sunlight. I've had it up to, I think the hottest it's been outside so far for me has been like 85 to say 85 to 90, you know? And it was probably at the hottest point for a couple of hours and then it cooled off. But I have yet to have any problems with this MacBook right here. Not a single problem. I've said it. I'll say it again. It's the best MacBook I've ever owned. The single best MacBook I've ever owned. And I'm going all the way back to the coveted 2012 MacBook Pro Retina, which was the gold standard to this day for everybody in the world. All you DJs out there that are still rocking 57 SLs, 2012 MacBook Pro Retinas. I'm telling you guys, this M1 is the best computer I've ever owned. 14, the perfect size, the absolute perfect size. Because my favorite computer that Apple ever made, my favorite computer was I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years ago when they came out with the redo of their 12-inch MacBook Pro. I loved that MacBook, not MacBook Pro, just MacBook Air. Sorry, I loved that MacBook Air. Problem was, it was a little too small, for DJing, but I loved it. It was small. The battery lasted forever. You could put it in anything. Honestly, it was one of my favorite computers. But then I ended up having to go with the 16 because I didn't want the 13. The 16 was the only option. 16, in my opinion, in general, bigger than it needs to be. The 14 is a perfect computer. Perfect in every way. SD card slot, HDMI port, 3 USB-Cs, a dedicated power. I have the 10 core with the 16 core graphics card. 16? 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabytes. My favorite computer. So good, in fact, that most people shouldn't get an M2. There's no reason to get an M2. Save yourself some money, get yourself an M1. Because if you're going to get the 16-inch M1 anyway, that battery life lasts forever. It's like a 10-hour on like full-time pushing. As long as you don't, and that's on the max. That's on the max. Don't get a max on the 14, by the way. Do not get a max on the 14. Chassis is too small. It'll get too hot. It'll overclock. It'll underclock anyway, and you're gonna waste your battery anyway. So stay away from the max. Okay. Let's see here. DJ Dr. Stun, what wireless XLR connectors do you use, and also is there any delay with the output? You guys make me tired. I use DJ bag. People always think that like I just do reviews, right? and I don't use the products. But I tell people, if I'm using the product, if you see me using the product at parties, besides the fact that I'm testing, if you see me using them and I'm not testing, it's legitimately a good ass product, because I don't use products that have problems. So when I'm fighting with some smart guy online, when they're telling me their X5s are horrible and they're the worst things out there, and I say, it not the X5s, it's your location, and they want to blame the X5s, it is what it is. Not every product, especially wireless, are going to work in the entire world. So I don't assume that. They work well for me. I know that Philip, he bought them. They don't work. They didn't work as well for him in Boston. I know that. And again, it's a location thing. It's 100% a location thing, because certain frequencies will not work well depending on where you are. So, I use the X5s. I use them. I have 2 sets. This case is aftermarket, by the way, but holds the X5s, holds the power cord right here, everything that I need. Do they work? Yes. Do they work well for me? Yes. The latency, under 5 milliseconds, it's nominal. You're never going to hear 5 milliseconds. There's no phasing, first off, I would not use these for my speakers that happen to be 10 feet away from me. That's dumb. Okay. I plug them in. This is only for speakers that are farther away. Those external speakers, those ones that are on the patio that you need to get sound to so people can hear your microphone. If you're doing like a 4 corners on the dance floor, the speaker is going to go to the back ones, so you don't have to run cords. Like, these are the reasons why I use them. So I don't use them every single day. But there's 5 milliseconds. Your DJ software is, for a lot of people and their computers, is more than 5 milliseconds. So if you trust your DJ software at higher than 5 milliseconds, then you should have no problem with the X5s at 5. 5 milliseconds is the equivalent of like pretty much the fastest that you can DJ with. And there's still a hairpin of a delay, but nothing that you'll ever hear. You just adjust to it, but you don't hear that in the sound. It's not like, you're playing Doobie Brothers and like Michael McDonald's like, hoda, hoda, because it just keeps echoing. It's not like that. And there's no weird phasing or, that kind of almost reverby sound. There's no delay. Okay. Hopefully I've said that enough about the X5s, because that is a major question for some reason. For all you people that are new here, welcome. But if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And also hit the notification button, that little bell. Very, very important, because I feel like a lot of people are not getting notified when I'm posting videos. I just feel that way. So make sure the bell notification's on. That way you do get notified immediately. Okay. Pros or cons to upgrading from a 2015? I think I just answered that. The pros and cons are the M1 is just better. It's better. That's it. Professor BX in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Yeah, look, Professor BX is a member now too. Nice. Nice. Marcus Franklin in the building. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Aaron, the DJ. Okay. All right, let's travel down. DJ Gabe says, can you gift me? Gabe, just handle it. You're a baller. I don't even know you, and I know you're a baller. Handle it. Okay. All right, let's see here. The pros to Macs. There are really no pros to upgrade Macs. i7. I disagree, Nadell. 100%. He says there are really no pros to upgrading Macs. i7 1 terabyte quad core. She said you're pretty good for music mixing, video editing, or recording is a whole other thing. The problem is not the processor. and I had, this is coming from a guy that had an i9. Okay. The problem is not the processor. The i9 works, but it doesn't work efficiently. That's the problem with the MacBooks before the M1s. Um, I, look, I have heard my fans turn on. I can count them on my hand. And I've had this MacBook for like a year. Okay. So you're not having to bring down the temperature of the processors, which means they don't underclock themselves. You can continue to run them at max capacity without even plugging in. I have DJ friends right now that never bring their plugs for their MacBooks because they're on the 16s and it gives them like 10 hours of battery life. So there are reasons, and the M1 is a better chip. It's a better chip than the i7 or the i9. It processes better. It's more efficient. It's faster, and it's just a good chip. You know, the moving from the separate RAM to the integrated RAM, I thought that was going to be a problem. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I got the 32. Technically, you don't need the 32 because all the RAM and the memory are integrated into one basically. So it all talks to one another. It's not like, while you are caching your RAM, you're always caching your RAM. You know, so if you're in a process, you load a song, that song technically gets cached into your RAM. Okay. But the way it works, even if you have like a 16 gig RAM on some of these M1s, it'll just cache it to your hard drive because your hard drive is an SSD, which kind of acts as a memory stick anyway. So you're getting more efficiency and more abilities to do things. And so, while if you're fine with your 2015 MacBook, sure, don't upgrade. But if you are at a point where you're like, I need to upgrade, don't do anything below an M1. Don't do it. So that's all I'm saying. Sorry, I'm not being so chatty, says Philip, busy grading final assignments. That's fine. You know, you know what? I just want you to do one thing. Just on one of them, just shut your eyes and just write an A in. Just A. Don't even check it. Just A. Make one person just super happy. Let them go into the summer feeling like, you know, they're ruling the world. Do you play soca music? Says Soundmaster J. I do. I play soca. I play amapiano. I play Latin. I play Israeli. I play hip hop. I play pop. I play EDM. I don't play trance. I don't play country. I play reggaeton, cumbia, bachata, salsa, open format. Okay. Need some help with DJing soca? What do you need help with? What do you need help with? I mean, I'm thinking that you know, DJing period, you know, most of the time people need help with DJing music because they're not familiar with the music. So then they need help because they need to know what good artists I should choose and what this and what's that. Soca and on its own is an easy thing to mix because the beats barely change. It's like house music, you know. You know, it's anyway. Okay. Dustin says, figure out what gear aside from your controller you're putting in your MacBook. Besides my controller? What gear? I don't know. My gear will go in there. My controller will go in there. A microphone will go in there. I will do some rudimentary wiring of the XLRs and my booth monitor, and have a dedicated USB that's just in there the whole time. Power. I'll probably buy another MacBook charger. That'll stay in there. I mean, what more else do I need? Okay. Actually, MacBooks are the best for DJs. No virus, fast. The problem comes when you update to a different Mac OS. Always look at the requirements before buying anything. Okay. Samuel Patterson says, when crossfading a mashup on a 4 deck, you double click your deck 4. Poor man's deck move. Okay. So you're doing an instant double on deck 4. Your mashup now plays on fader right, and you can mix in a new song on fader left. Ask tip. That's a statement. Gotcha, Samuel. Yes. A lot of people don't realize the instant double button and how easy that is to operate. Yeah. Yeah. If you're doing 4 deck. And more power to you if you are. Okay. It's called Orlando. It's called Disney World. I fly into Disney World, Ruckus. I don't fly into Orlando. I fly into Disney World. Okay. Let's see. Samuel says, I have 4 wireless mic mixer. I have a 4 wireless mic mixer. Is it possible to get a lapel mic that uses the same frequency as one of the mics and not use the mic? Yeah. I mean, for the most part, it just depends on the mics, the mic box itself. I know Shure does that. I know Phoenix Pro does that. You just have to buy the lapel mic that matches that frequency. And then that's it. That's it. You just bring it in, you pair it up like you pair any other microphone, and you should be fine. Jack Tumbo Universal says, Terry, will we have the motorized Hercules controller in 4 channels? Can you convince them to make it? No, Jack Tumbo. I will not convince anybody to make a 4 deck motorized controller. Why? Because it's dumb. And I say that in the most loving voice. It's dumb. Now, the Hercules in a 4 deck is probably better because it is already light as hell. I just don't think people need 4 decks. That's just me though. Now, I guess we'll have to see how the 2 deck mixer goes, and who knows. But anybody that's using like an actual moving platter direct drive deck is not going 4 deck. You might see one come out of rain. Maybe. I'm looking at the Rain 4 right now. It's to my right. Oh my God, that thing's going to be so heavy. More power to you guys. I work out and I still don't want to carry that thing. Ask CT, I think you skipped my question. Damn it, Ruben. Sometimes I miss questions, man. Let's see. Ruben. I don't even see your question, Ruben. I don't see your question, Ruben. I don't see your question. So ask it again. Okay. Is that why you do these stems on Thursday streams? Because everything is already locked in? Exactly. Isomatic. Exactly. Okay. I see some people I'm going to skip over right now. Do you hypnotize yourself from getting DJ burnout? Last year, I got DJ burnout playing the same song at every event. That is a very, very good question, DJ Ernie. Very good question. Do I get burnout? Absolutely. Now, I think in any job, you get burnout. You know, I've gotten burnout doing YouTube. In all honesty, I've told people this. There was a moment in time where I'm like, I not only do I not want to turn on my camera, I don't want to look at Final Cut. I don't want to do anything around anything because it becomes a lot. I think the difference for me, and a lot of others is, well, first off, I pick and choose which events I want to be on, so I have a little more flexibility, but also, um, I don't know. Every party's different to me. And although I do play this, the same type of music, um, I don't play it the same every time at all. That's one of the things that I always tell people, like, it's fine to have a set list and it's fine to have routines that you do within the music. But the moment you have I play from number 1 all the way to 75 on my party, that's usually when stuff starts to take hold. Because I don't know, to me, every party is different. Yes. Do I play Usher? Yeah. On every party. Yeah. Do I play Get Low or Low, I should say, on every party? Yes. I don't know. For me, I get my energy from the crowd. And if I play low, even if I hate that song and all the people scream their asses off, I'm happy. I guess that's one of the reasons why, because there's been several DJs that have made videos and stuff that are like, don't DJ parties that you don't want to do anymore. If you don't want to do it, only DJ events that with music that you love. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I think it's unrealistic to assume that anybody that's not like, this huge DJ is going to be able to do just music they love. I just think it's unrealistic to remain, earning a living. I just think that that's not possible. So there's going to be things, because there's things right now. I own a business. I love my business, but there are some things I can't stand. It's a part of the business. DJing and playing some music that you don't like is a part of the business. So you got to find ways to like it. You got to find ways to like it. And another thing, I don't stay in music too long. So I can't really get bored because I'm working the entire time. Hook, maybe verse, hook, out, or hook, verse, hook, out, maybe hook, verse, halfway through the verse, they're singing along, I drop a new track, so I'm always kind of creating more elements because, that's the key to keeping things lively, I think it's, to me, the funny thing is when I go to places that I know, okay, this is the time, this would burn me out because it's happened a couple times. What burns me out is when I get playlists that are huge. And after I've told them, these are guidelines, I'm not going to play everything on your list. And they're like, you need to play everything on my list. Don't play anything outside of my list. Those burn me out hella fast. If I can't, because I know people would be like, well, you just got to take the list and you got to, make it yours. Nah, F that. If I'm not allowed to look at your crowd and go, the song you just played was cool. You know what? This song works with it too. Check this out. If I'm not allowed to do that, I am bored out of my mind. Instant burnout. That's the key for me. If I'm bored, the more bored parties I do, the more I burn out. And usually right around this time, when the people start to get a little jaded because, they've seen us so many times, there is a little level of, oh God, it's stressful. And when there's stress, then you burn out too. So it's a combination, but, yeah, I don't burn out playing music. Guys, girls, think about what we do for a living. Just think about it for a minute. You play music. You make people happy. I can't get too angry about that. You know, I can't burn out too much about that. Because I have one of the best jobs in the world. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. You got to find your happy place. You know, I think, you know, when you start hating the music, it may be time for you to retire. When you start hating the music. And I'm talking about like the crap that's being played, all this BS hip hop that the kids think is great, which is technically trash. You know what's funny about the music? You know what's funny? As I post, you know, my IG reels and stuff like that, and people say things like, oh, you know, like I posted Eddie Swift's video. It's off key. It's off this. It's off that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm listening to some of this new hip hop. It's always off key. None of these kids can sing. It's always off key. Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, okay. My SX3 hated the heat. It would glitch up and send a pulsing sound to the speakers. Yeah, that's the hardware issue is different. I get that. And certain pieces of gear do react differently. You know, some require, some require more power, more processing. They're a little more, you know, processor hungry. So it just depends. Rat Bone in the building. What's going on? So risky without a tent. It's not risky, people. It's not risky. It's not risky if you know your gear. You know, I'm not saying that everybody should go out without a tent, but I'm saying that I, for one, don't want anything limiting my ability to do the party. And if I get to a party and there's no tent and there's no way to get a tent, what am I supposed to do? Just tell them, sorry, no party. So no, screw that. Get something that works, you know, which means if you got to have a fan, or if you got to have an air conditioning unit next to you, or you got to put pads underneath, fan pads underneath your computer, get something that works. Don't blame the tent. You know, I rocked, hold on. Speaking of Hercules.
All right, guys, what's going on, everybody? It's your man, Cleveland Terry. I wanted to just do a quick video about this new unit. It's not out yet. It doesn't come out until July 31st. It hits market. I have pre-order it pretty soon, though. All right, so this is Tim. This is the man, runs this thing. They came out with an amazing product. I haven't tested it yet, but based upon what I'm seeing, this is one of those to beat. It's a game changer. Moving platters. It's $700.
What's up, everybody? How are we doing today?
This is gonna sell like hotcakes. So I'm gonna do a review, but tell me just real quickly, like, what made you guys decide to do something like this?
The history of DJing is vinyl, right?
Yeah.
And motorized jog wheels is the best we can get right now,
Right.
in terms of replicating that with a digital controller.
Right.
So the Impulse T7 is our shot at the motorized DJ controller market, and the largest, most premium controller we've ever made.
Okay.
And we're pricing it just like we price everything else in the Hercules lineup.
Super aggressive.
Competitively. Let's call it competitively.
I call it aggressive, he calls it competitively, fine.
We're targeting both, obviously, beginner DJs
Right.
who want to upgrade to a motorized platters,
Right.
or working DJs who want something small, want something portable,
Yeah.
want something that works with Strato Pro.
It has XLR out, very important.
Okay. So I had my MacBook. It was overheating. Showed you that video, did that video. When the MacBook was overheating, I moved, and I went to the XMG. Still have it. Still a very, very good computer. Okay. Never going to say this is a bad computer. I was in the desert in Palm Springs with 112 degrees. Okay. Desert. I had a tent. The MacBook that somebody else was using had problems the entire time. This thing was basically in the sunlight, didn't have a single problem. So, I think we spent a lot of time making excuses or things that we need. You need a tent. You need this. You need that. Yes and no. You know, if you get something that works properly, you know, and I know the MacBooks, we didn't have that option before. We were kind of stuck. So I get it, people. You know, but these new MacBooks are on a different level. You're just on a different level. PCs in general, tend to do better in the sunlight because they do have, you know, plastic backs and vents and fans and all these things. So where the MacBook doesn't, it is what it is. Now, I don't want limitations. I just want my stuff to be able to work. So I'm going to buy whatever it takes for my stuff to be able to work, you know? And when the MacBook, when there was no M1, there was only i7s and i9s. At that point, I came to the understanding that I probably could not use my MacBook out in the summertime, tint or not. So the PC just made more sense. Now that there's the M1 and M2, I don't have that fear anymore at all. Right now, my M1 is operating at 50 degrees Celsius and the fan is off. I've only seen it go up high temperatures when I run software that is not optimized for it. I've only seen it do it like twice. For the most part, it doesn't get above, I think 70 degrees Celsius is the highest I've seen it go, pushing hard. That's it. You know. Anyway, I know people are talking about the X5s. OG arcade machines from the 70s and 80s really screw with the 2.4 gigahertz. It's not good. How often are you DJing with old school arcade machines? I'm not trying to be difficult, but come on, guys. We need to be realistic about things. I will keep that in mind if somebody ever books me in an arcade shop. I will go, oh, I can't use Max 5s in here. Okay, fine. You know, but then again, I don't use Max 5s as the only thing. They're for me, they're emergency cases. They're, oh my God, look how far away this thing is. I don't want to have to run cord. Let me do the X5s. That's it. But again, I don't know. It is location based. But I will not say to anybody out there that they don't work because they don't work for you. When I know tons of people that use the X5s without problem in many different states. So that's what I'm saying. It just didn't work for you. It happens. It happens. DJ Lab says never worked for me in my environment. Exactly. So it just happens. It happens. Yeah. And also a lot of people are not doing a really good line of sight. When you're doing 40 feet away, 50 feet away, you got to have a line of sight. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you gotta elevate them up. You gotta put them above things. A lot of people are running them into their what do you call it? Their line arrays. And you know, most of those bases, you know, the antenna is stuck in the back of the box like this, and now you have a speaker, people, it's low to the ground. You gotta elevate that. So if you even look at my video, you can see the X5 just kind of dangling right on the bows, right up top. And then I taped the other one higher up so you can see, you can get line of sight. And I had basically one transmitter and two receivers. So everybody's different. Okay. All right, let's see here. Ended up with the Alto Stealth ones because they're slightly slimmer so they can side by side on my controller. That's great. Yeah. And they're AA powered, which is great. Yeah. I think I would prefer having a transmitter receiver that is a rechargeable AA battery versus just being rechargeable. Because there are times when, let's just say you forget to charge it, you know, and now you're looking for a place to plug it in. It's just a lot. I do wish, like, at least with my Chevy D5 wireless DMX D5s, on my moving head, there's a plug. So if I ever die, I can just plug it right into the back. So that's easy. Okay. All right. Gabe Catty says, title on Serato DJ Pro. Is it good? Does it come close to Spotify? Okay, Gabe. in all seriousness, two things. One, you can't use Spotify in your DJ gear. So it doesn't matter how good Spotify is because you can't use it. That's the one thing. You're going to have to convert those playlists over to SoundCloud, Spotify, not Spotify, Tidal or BeatSource anyway. Okay. Now, this is what I will say. Okay. And this is the easiest answer. Nobody is, let me back up. I don't personally use Tidal for like my playlists and set lists and all that stuff. Okay. I use Tidal as a supplement. All right. Somebody comes up and says, "Hey, can you play this song by this artist?" I don't have it. I don't plan on having it. That song is maybe a one-off every, 50 parties, right? So I'll stream that one. Tidal has never not had a song I've looked for. That's all I care about. They got clean versions and they got dirty versions. That's it. Now, on occasion, there may be a song that they don't have a clean version for from Tidal. But that's not necessarily Tidal's fault. That's the label's fault. So is Tidal as good as Spotify? For what DJs use it for? Absolutely. Now, if you're talking about the app and how it finds music for you and all that stuff and the curation, I have no idea because I don't use Tidal like that. I'm an Apple Music guy, but I do have Tidal also. Okay. I'm about to sneak into using some in-ear monitors to mix with. How long did it take you to get used to your custom in-ears? My custom in-ears took all of 3 seconds because I've been using in-ears, even if I don't keep them both in my ears, because sometimes I just like to keep the one ear and keep my other ear out. Now, the reason that I used to do it that way was because I'm looking for I'll show you in a second. I will show you in a second. Let's go this. All right, so I use obviously you guys know that I've been gifted a set of Ultimate ears. I believe these are the UE11s, and I love them. I want you to just see if I can get it in there. Hey, look at that! Got my logo. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So. Yes, these are designed to fit right into your ears. You get an ear mold, it locks them right into place. I used to use two different types of headphones. I used the Shure SE535s, which again, off the shelf, very, very good in-ear monitors off the shelf. And then I stepped on one of my headphones, so I hadn't gotten replaced yet. So I moved over to the Mackies, which are also very, very good. Very clear, great sound coming out of them. The issue that I had with them was they just didn't fit my ears. They fit just okay, but never great. My ears are a certain way, and you know, to each their own. Here's the reason that I never used to rock in-ears in both of them. Sorry, I'm hearing dogs bark. The reason why is because I use on these, because, you know, obviously they're not custom. I use these Comply foam tips, right? And the foam tips, basically you squeeze them in, and then you put them in your ear, and then you let the Comply tips expand, and then they seal your ear. So great seal. They take out a lot of outside sound. Now it's what you want, but it was taking out too much sound, if that makes sense. So I couldn't hear, like, if my mix was coming in slightly too low or whatnot. I couldn't feel it, right? But ever since I got these, I can still hear. There's holes in them, and let's see if you can see. Okay, so all right, so right there, right in that corner right there, there's a hole, and that hole is allows for air to get through, and when that air can get through, sound can get through. So I love them. Now I believe that some come with holes and some can't. I don't know if that's an option or not, but I specifically requested that I get the ones with the holes, because there are little plugs that you can plug the holes in and get absolute silence. So yes, I have been rocking in-ears. I have actually gone back to split Q. Professor BX. I've gone back to split Q, and I love split Q now. I love split Q. I use the Rev 7 to split Q. It's funny because everybody else that doesn't use split Q thinks that the headphone jack is broken. You know what I would like though, Professor BX? I want you to put this in your what ifs for future split Q options, especially when they're software based, right? Or hardware based too. I want the ability to switch. I personally love that the outside sound, you know, the monitor is in your right ear. I'm a right ear monitor guy, so I prefer that. Left ears for my Q, right ears for my monitor. If I am DJing without and I'm using headphones, my monitor is always to my right. That's the way I hear. But my son came on, and he was trying to use split Q, and he was like, I like to listen out of my left ear. We need to be able to switch those. We need to be able to switch them back and forth. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I'll scream if I have to play Party in the USA this weekend again. That and Get Low, yeah, in September will make me vomit. Find a way to make them happy. Find a way to fall in love again with music. Get yourself a mix of September. I haven't played the original September in forever. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Okay. YouTube has some killer soca playlists. Okay. Trying to respond, but my comments keep getting deleted. That's weird because nobody's deleting anybody's comments. I haven't even seen any comments that were hidden, so I'm not sure what's happening, GDC. Okay. All right, we got a big old soca thing that's popping up. I'm glad I missed it. You guys seem to have handled it. Okay. Trying to get through the Soka Metro. Okay, I was right there with you on 2 decks being enough. But with stems, the 4 deck seems to actually be more useful than before. I guess it is. I mean, okay. So I understand your argument because you're basically stating that it's not 4 decks. You need 3 decks is what you're saying. Because if you're running a song, you go to stem, you're bringing a new song, and then maybe you want to bring in an acapella to that new song and you stem that one to instrumental. You need 3 decks is what you're saying. We don't need 4 decks. We don't. And there are ways around that. There's still ways around that issue. But, to each their own. I just don't believe that many people are rocking 3 to 4 deck stems. I don't think they're doing that on parties. I just don't believe it. Where it seems like a lot of people are struggling with 2 deck stems. So I don't believe people are doing that as much as you say, or as much as people want. Everybody wants to do it, but then they end up not doing it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when DaVinci Resolve, it's a software, came out for the iPad. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to edit all my videos on my iPad now. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I haven't edited 1 video. It's cool to have the option, but I haven't done that. Now, maybe when I go to say, Disney World, and let's say I don't want to bring my computer, maybe I only bring my iPad, because there is going to be 1 month, maybe I'll do it in June, where I only use Algorithm DJ. That's the plan. Algorithm DJ, only an iPad in every single event. Can I do it? Because I know people are going to say, well, of course you can DJ with Algorithm. Yeah, I know that. But can I do other things? Can I rock the video montage? If somebody gives me a thumb drive, can I make that happen? Like, there's all these little things that I'd like to test out. Anyway. Okay. DJ Metro says, what is the best way to sync both my MacBooks to mirror each other besides using migration? Well, in all honesty, you want to clone your drive. That's the way you do it. You clone it. You use something like Super Duper, or what is that? CC Cloner or something like that. I use Super Duper. Because yes, while the Apple migration works great for a backup, it's not easy to just do a 1-to-1. So Super Duper is what I use. Okay. Just grab the Mixstream Pro 2 as a backup. Instant doubles. Where the heck is that button? I attempt to load the same track on deck 2, and I have to hit the button 4 times. I'm not sure why that's happening, because you can instant double just with a double tap. You might want to check your settings and see what's going on there. Yeah. See? Mixmaster's answering questions too. Good. Okay. Ruben says, how do we switch from an hourly rate structure to something like what you have, where you charge for packages with certain hours attached? My market is venues where clients pick off a list. Well, I'm going to say this, Ruben. And by the way, I didn't see this question earlier. That's a long question. I would have saw that. My answer is this. In my town, there are plenty of DJs that do a la carte everything, and hourly everything. The difference is, it's my business model, and that's how I operate. So if you are on an hourly, get off the hourly. First off, I don't even have the ability to see hourly, sometimes it's hard to change the way an area does things. You need to show them the value of why it's better to do it this way versus hourly. Because the moment you establish a minimum, like I will only work for this many hours regardless, you've already established packages. Your package is at a minimum of this much money for 3 hours of work or 2 hours of work, and then you go on from there. So I will tell you some tricks that work for me. One trick in particular. instead of having hourly, remove the word hourly. Okay. And instead do up to. So your packages are, I bring lighting, I bring sound system, I bring a wireless microphone, I bring DJ gear, and I will DJ up to 4 hours for this amount. Up to. Because then people see the value of both. You know, if somebody's like, well, I wanted to do it for 3 hours, but what if I wanted to do 4? The up to is already in there. So I can go to 4 if I need to. If you start having people that are haggling you about time, because I'll have people that say, you know, well, I only need 1 hour. I'm like, well, there's a minimum of 3 hours. And the trick is, simple trick though, Ruben, the trick is, you can't give in. Okay. Your rules that you are establishing are there. They're going to define your company. If you give in, then your words don't matter. People know that if they push you hard enough, they'll get to that point, you know, where for me, they push me hard enough and I literally tell them, go to that other company. You're like, oh, well, I can get this and this and this for this much money and you are this much. And I flat out said, that's a great deal. You should go with them. Whoa, hold on a minute. I'm just trying to see if there's any wiggle room. Okay, we can discuss wiggle room, but I'm not coming down to that price, no matter how much you try. The only reason that certain products that you go out into the store and you buy are however much they are is because that's the business setting their line in the sand. That's the only reason it's that expensive. Apple could charge less for their products, but they know that they have their numbers because that's the numbers that they require. And that's it. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. There's no haggling. There's no haggling with the iPhone. You don't like it, get the cheaper one. You know, you want all this stuff, but you don't want to pay for it. Then you don't want all this stuff. This is what you can get for the money you want to spend. You know, start looking at it from, and then that way, when your packages are at a certain level and people are like, well, I only need it for this much and I only want to spend this much. Okay, well, let's drop down to our lower packages. Well, hold on. No. The lower, because if you do hourly, Ruben, I feel like there's a lot of things that you may be convinced into bringing that shouldn't apply to an hourly party. Okay. So say for instance, you know, oh, I only need you for 2 hours. Okay. But I need uplighting and I need a photo booth and I need this and that. Well, those don't even apply to those hourly rates. Oh, you want that? Well, now you have to get a package, you know, but I would just remove the hourly rate. Just remove it completely. Okay. All right. Let's see here. MD Zik. How do you handle the drunk entitled lady who keeps putting her drink over your gear while she's requesting a song after not taking your cues? Well, this is my cue. like this is me. I'll mess around. I don't mess around with my gear. There's only some times when I can become an asshole. And that's one of those times because there is no middle ground. Either they're spilling shit on your equipment or they're not. There's no half spill. You get what I'm saying? So when I see people, when they're dancing hard, and they're dancing hard, now they're getting real close to my computer, or they got their drinks and they're right over my controller. Nope. Now I'm an asshole. Only time in the entire night that I'm an asshole is right then and there. I don't mess around. I do not mess around. So that's how you deal with it. Lady, move your drink away from my controller. You can damage it. Oh, I'm sorry. And you do it again. I'm gonna need you to move away. That's it. You can be an asshole when it comes to protecting your gear. You can do that. All right. Okay. 1206. I know I'm behind. How does your YouTube have emotes? Ask, does your YouTube have emotes? I don't know if that I've added emotes on yet. There's a couple, but I need to add on my other ones, like my my petty white and all those. You know, I'll add those in. I'll add those in tomorrow. Okay. DJ Griffology. Onyx is not the same. Onyx had musicality to their music. I mean, yes, they're screaming, but then again, so was MOP. But they still had musicality to their songs. The new stuff, some is good. I'm not saying it's all bad. There's some that's good, but a lot of it, and it seems like, I don't know, right now, music is changing again because now everybody's going to like, 80s to like 90 beats per minute. And it just seems like the production is getting better. Because before it was just trash, bad engineering, bad music, bad production, just across the board. All right. Rat Bone, thanks for hanging out today. Audio One in the building. I always get Audio One late. DJ Coldcut says, not to change the subject, says Bruce Wayne, your honest thoughts. Bruce Wayne, I only give honest thoughts. Don't offend me by saying your honest thoughts like I was lying. Watch my video. There's an Opus Quad video. I give my true reaction to it. Go check the video out. I'm not going to do all the work for you. Okay. Yeah. It's just funny to me how people think that like these manufacturers like control me. They might control some YouTubers, maybe. They don't control me, which is probably why I don't have a Mix on 8 yet. Okay. Are people just coming in late today? Because this is like the third M1 Max topic. Very weird today. The Mike Javi show. We did answer that in earlier on. My Rev 8 with 8.5 inch movie platters is coming out soon. I got a confirmation from Pioneer. Informative, good source. You are a liar, Mazu. Anyway. But thanks for the joke. The whole is a paid option on order. Then pay the option. DJ Mac Attack. Definitely. Okay. This is true, Audio One. If you do want to get excited about music again, go check out Audio One. He'll change your life, and just Twitch in general. Like every so often I forget, just because I get busy, and I forget how good Twitch is. I forget the accessibility to amazing DJs is always on. I totally forget that sometimes. It's always great. So give it a try. Okay. Terry's subconscious favorite says Algorithm DJ. I love Algorithm DJ. So I've been doing something lately. I know this goes against the world. And Feta, I use LumaFusion too, but now there's Algorithm. In next week, in 5 days, Final Cut's coming to the iPad. So I'm gonna give Final Cut a try. Final Cut and Logic Pro are coming to the iPad. I haven't been making music because of just timing and space. When Logic Pro comes to the iPad, you might be seeing a lot more music coming from me, in all honesty. Okay. Back to Algorithm DJ. What I've been doing lately. It's stupid, but it works. Okay. So you guys know I'm a Serato user, right? We know this. This is not a secret. One of the things when I do stream with Serato, and it's not just Serato, it can be, I've seen it happen on DJ also. But let's just say I'm at a party where I'm streaming music, a lot of music, right? I pulled it into BeatSource or into Tidal, whatever, and I'm playing off the request. I've done that. I had a party literally last week, and it was all requests, and it's like, we only want you to play my playlist and play the dirty versions, like whatever. So I have my Serato up, right, playing music, and I keep my iPad with Algorithm DJ up on the other side, because every so often you might try to go play a song, and for whatever reason it bottlenecks and it just won't let you load the song, right? You won't. So when I used to use Serato, when I couldn't load the song, I would go find something on my actual local drive and then play it, right? But now I just keep Algorithm DJ up, and if it doesn't work on that one, I just pop over to Algorithm DJ real quick, load the song up, and play out of there. I'm 2 computer mixing, baby. 2 computer mixing. You guys want 4 decks. I'm mixing with 2 computers. Anyway. Okay. All right, let's see here. Cheaper to apply. Oh my God, am I kind of up to date? Okay. I think I'm kind of up to date here. Nice. Okay. What do I think about drum and bass music, says Missy Clark. Missy Clark, I think you're new here. Welcome. I love drum and bass. I grew up on drum and bass. You know, I was listening to drum and bass when Ronnie Size came out, you know, and changed the game. You know, and Prodigy, and you know, I grew up all over that. And I love drum and bass. Love drum and bass. There's just not a place for drum and bass in my world besides playing it on my own. Like, I don't go to drum and bass. I can't go to drum and bass clubs. That's too much drum and bass. But like, I watch what is it? DJs, not DJing. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. It's not his fault. His name's Billy Lane. 916 Junglist. 916 Junglist. So he plays extensive drum and bass, and it's some of the greatest stuff I hear. Love it. There's just not a place for it for me as a DJ. Brown paper bag. Why can't Serato have a broadcasting function? Does Serato need a broadcasting function? Real freak? In all honesty, they don't really need one. You know what I mean? I mean, you got OBS, you got every streaming service known to man, which is right there. I know a lot of people, they you know, a lot of people are virtual DJ people, and virtual DJ has all of this stuff. And people are like, why doesn't Serato have it? For the most part, most people don't need a lot of the stuff that virtual DJ is offering. So that's why they don't have it, you know. But they do have a whole bunch of stuff. They have the ability to send your audio out to your OBS, so you can do everything right from your computer, which is basically, you know, what you were thinking anyway. So there's no problem. It's just a secondary piece of software. It's on my wedding couples playing list that week. Oh, that's dope, Feta. That is dope. Absolutely dope. Okay, Island Boy in the building. What's going on? Final Cut is not feature parity yet. You can't import previous desktop files. Logic will work for everything unless your plugin doesn't exist on the iPad, but you should be good nonetheless. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. And, you know, I figured that Final Cut wouldn't have feature parity. I mean, look, even DaVinci Resolve is not feature parity, even though it's in there. It's in the background. You can find ways to bring it up. But I don't really need Final Cut to do everything. I just needed to I want to use Final Cut on my iPad for all of my reels. That's it. You know, I'll do my heavy lifting, but the fact that Final Cut on the iPad does multicam, like, I don't know, man. That's kind of impressive, but I don't go super deep on my Final Cut stuff, but as long as it can do compound clips, multicam editing, which I probably won't even use it for because I'm on an 11-inch iPad, which I think is too small, but I will cut up all my reels while I'm just sitting places with my iPad. And my iPad has cellular, so I can cut up my reels, export it, and upload it like that. That's amazing. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Wayne Island Boy asks, how often do you update your DJ equipment as a company? Well, good question, by the way, Wayne. We don't update it that often. If anything, we update, let's see, we update lighting. We update lighting more than we update like speakers. Although we've been in the process of updating all of our speakers because we went from a passive system to a powered systems across the board. So we got rid of all of our passive systems. So we've been slowly upgrading all the systems. I don't really care who the manufacturer is. Like, I don't care if I have some JBL systems, some QSC systems, some Mackie systems, as long as they're powering and they're providing the sound I need for them to be able to do any party. That's the key, right? So if any party over 100 people, okay? So let's say the average is 130 to 175. Every system that I have needs to be able to do that because I send out multiple systems everywhere, right? So every system I have needs to be able to do that. And that's what we've been slowly upgrading because we had some Eon setups, which were great, but they don't work for 150, 175 people. Like, I will be damned if anybody ever tells me, bro, I use my column array that's not like a Maui 44G. A little different. But anybody that's like, yo, I just use my column array. When people tell me that their column arrays I can power up to 250 people, you are a damn lie. There is no way your column array, I don't care what column array you have, is doing that. Unless it's like the 44. Maybe the 44. And that's not even really a column array. That's a pseudo speaker. That is a combined all-in-one speaker is what that is. It's not a column array. But in general, you know, our speakers need to be able to push out 250 people, 300 people on every party, even if we're not having that many people. So we don't upgrade. So we do upgrade the speakers, but once they're upgraded, you're pretty good for a while. We update lights. We don't really update controllers. I keep the controllers available. We don't supply the controllers usually. We supply turntables if people ask for turntables, but in general, controllers, bring your own controller. You know, I mean, we do have like 3 1000 SRTs. We have Rain 1, and then a couple of Rev 7s. But like my Rev 7 is my Rev 7. Nobody gets my Rev 7. Yeah, Feta 150 is like, I'm not going any bigger than that. Yeah, 150 is a good number. 150 in a medium to small size venue is fine. 150, and it's got to have walls. You know, anything more than that, there's no way. I'm sure you're playing, but you're not hitting the people like you're supposed to be. You know, yeah, 250 was pushing the limit. I can only imagine that at 250, what was happening. I can predict what's happening. You've got it going to its limit, and then after an hour or so, all of a sudden, where's the bass? Where's the bass at? Because your subs are cooking and they got to cool down. One RCF J8 will do 150 to 200. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Sorry. I don't believe you. There is no way in the world that speaker right here can do 200 people. There's absolutely no way in the world. I don't care what you say. Yes, you are providing audio, but you are not. There's no way. No way. Look, you're telling me every Saturday. I'm telling you that, yes, you are providing audio, okay? But there's no way that thing is hitting that room the way it's supposed to. There's no way. There's no way. I've heard this system. There's no way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm calling BS. Now, if it works for you, fine, okay? I'm not saying that there's no sound coming out of it. I'm saying that there's no way. There's no way. More power to you, man. More power to you. Now, I will say this. Like even my Bose, right? My Bose can do up to like 150 confidently. In a small room or when you're not expected, how small is so-and-so? What is that, a 5x5 dance floor? That is you were performing at a house. You were in a bedroom. With no windows and no doors. It is a sealed room. I'm kidding and I'm not kidding. Look, if it works for you, fine. And if your clients are happy with it, fine. Great. That's great. I just know that my clients would be like, turn it up. Everybody's different though. Everybody's different. Now, if I'm using my Bose for, spoken word or speeches, cocktail party, yes, absolutely. One speaker, one Bose, stick and sub, perfect. I mean, in all honesty, I could probably even get away with the LD 28s, the Maui 28s for something like that. But in general, if this is a dance party where they have come to dance, you said sports bar, which means it's kind of dancing and a lot of drinking. And a lot of drinking, people don't give a shit about the sound because they're drinking their asses off and they're drunk. Drunk people don't have opinions that are valid. Okay, their view is skewed. So, because I have turned on speakers before, like for instance my Bose. I've turned on my Bose and been like, you go into sound check and you turn it on. You're like, wow, this sounds amazing. Look at that bass. That bass is hidden, right? And then the people come in. And then they stand in front of the speakers, and all of a sudden that bass goes to nothing. Everybody's different. I'm not trying to get down on you, so and so. If it works for you, it works for you. That's fine. I think the most important part that we're saying here is that there is no perfect system for any one person. If that system works for you and it hits and does all the things you needed to do, more power to you. But I would not personally ever tell anybody to go out and buy that system because it hits everywhere you go. Because it's a skewed statement. You're going to trick people into thinking they only need one. They're going to get there and be like, why doesn't it sound like they told me? Because you're in a big ass room with 200 people and this is not enough. That's why, so but if it works for you, it works for you. Dylan S says, you think the Rain 1 will be supported in future updates with Serato? Why wouldn't it? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Rain 1. And I don't need to, I see your comments. It just takes me a minute to get to them. There's no reason that the Rain 1 wouldn't be supported. They're not going to pull the Rain 1. I mean, the only problem with the Rain 1 is not even the Rain 1's problem. It has internal effects. That's it. Everything else is professional level. So I don't there's no reason that they would discontinue the Rain 1 ever. If they discontinue the Rain 1, they'd have to discontinue a lot of other controllers out there. Like a lot of them. You know, there's nothing wrong with the Rain 1. I mean, I'm still contemplating putting the Rain 1 in the Max booth. Contemplating, I say. And the only reason why I'm contemplating is just because I like moving platters. I mean, in all honesty, I might suck it up. If I have a roadie, like I'm planning on having a roadie, the Rev 7 will probably be in there. And then I will buy a new Rev 7, the gold one, for my normal gigs. Like the days I'm not using the Max booth. Guys, I really love the Rev 7. It's gonna be real hard for me to ever get rid of that Rev 7. It's gonna be real hard. And this is coming from somebody that likes the Rain 4 and the Flex 10. They're both great controllers. But that Rev 7, man, I don't know. It just works for me. Optimus says, what do you think about putting new speakers in some QSC 12s? Should I get new speakers or replace my woofers? Well, am I reading this right? Are you asking me, should you update your speaker by replacing the sub with a better sub? You know, the lows in the QSC. That's kind of what I'm hearing. But here's the thing, guys. All speakers will wear out over time, right? And you won't notice them. It's like dirty shoes. You know, you don't really notice how dirty your shoes are until you get a new pair of pants. And you put the pants on, you're like, oh my God, look at my shoes. Got to buy a new pair of shoes. That's the same thing with the speakers. You get used to their sound. They degrade over time. And then at a certain point, you're like, I can't hear anything. And that's probably when they've gone past the point of no return. So you should, if you have a cone or something that's blown out on a speaker, just replace the cone. There's nothing wrong with the speaker. You're going to just spend all that money. Well, I mean, why spend $1,000 when you can spend $200 on a new cone? You get what I'm saying? So, that's what I would do. I would always replace. We've had speakers go bad. You know, we've blown them and we just take them in and get them fixed. You know, and they're good as new again. Okay. And Max SPL says most modern speakers sound best with stock drivers, DSP and all that is made for them. Agreed. Unless your speakers are blown, stock is likely your best bet. Yeah. I mean, there are people that custom their own speakers and build their own. I mean, if that's you, cool. It's not me. I will buy. And again, I'm going to use my QSCs this weekend. I still have not used my system enough to give a review on them yet. I think this will be my third or fourth time using the QSC system. I think so. That's how, because I don't know, for some reason, I keep having these smaller parties, 100 people, 125 people. I don't need my QSC for that. So I bring my Bose, or it's in a place where you can't even do loud music anyway. You know, sometimes they're like, you turn down the bass. Like, okay. When they tell me to turn down the bass on the Bose, I'm just like, this place sucks. I'll never want to come here again. So, you know, I bring my line arrays when I know a venue has a problem with sound. Why carry the heavy ass things when I don't need to? Phasm says, how you liking the Rodecaster Pro 2? I like it. I don't love it. It's good. I don't think that it's great. Hopefully in the next week or so, there will be another video of another piece of equipment that competes with this. I do like, though, one thing that I do like. I like the new Rodecaster products they have coming out because they have some smaller ones. Like they have a 2-channel one and or I think it's a 4-channel one, and then maybe a 2-channel one. I do like that because I'd love to be able to take one on the go with me. That'd be great. Okay. All right. Keith just says, I think a lot of DJs don't understand that there is a system for the occasion. Exactly. You know, my partner is like the opposite. He's like, I want a system that will work in any situation, no matter what. That's my partner. So he buys top, like he's rocking SRX 815s and SRX 900 subs. So that will rock any party. But he'll bring that same system to a party that's 125 people. And I'm like, why are you bringing all this heavy ass stuff? He's like, no, I just bring my highs out then. I'm like, yeah, but you could just bring the bows and said, nope, I'm good. Like everybody does things differently, you know? I know that it costs money to have multiple systems. It costs money. It costs space. But having different systems is better in general for your events. So if you are a part-timer, don't get 2 systems, don't get 3 systems, just stick with the one part-timer. But if this is your job and this is what you do for a living, go out there and buy a smaller system. Have a small, medium, large, or just small and large. You know, have some options. Because trust me when I tell you, we have a situation right now where we have 2 of the JBL SRX, technically 3 of the JBL SRX systems. One with the 818s, that's the split subs. One with the 828, that's the dual cabinet one piece, one box, and then the 900s. Here's the problem. That 828 is the best sounding sub out there. The 828 and the 918, in my opinion, sound very close. Sound very, very close. So if you want just the separate boxes, then the 900s series, the 918 is a better bet, because the problem with the 828 is it's big. It's big and there's not always a place for it. That's the problem with the 828. So when I'm doing 250 people parties, yes, I grab that 828. But if I'm doing something that's smaller, I'm going to grab the 818s, because a lot of times the venue's smaller. They want to put you in this weird place, so there's not a lot of room, because that 828 requires a space. Let's see. Dylan says QSC or RCF, and DJ, I think it's Eat, says QSC always. I won't go that far. I will say that either one of them are good. If you're rocking RCF or QSC, I don't truly believe that RCF is the best speaker ever made. I don't think that. I think that they make really good sounding speakers, but I also think that so does JBL, and so does QSC, and so does EV. You know, I mean, Jesus, even Mackie, if you get to their higher level stuff, they make good systems. Even the Express system from Pioneer DJ, we use that one too. That's our 4th system. I call that one our small to medium speaker. So anything, 150 to 175, that works perfectly. When you start to get up to 200, and so I think it's gonna top out. But the one thing I will say about the Express system, it always sounds good. It never goes above its peak, and its peak is that top level, and that's it. VDJ Chucky says I rock RCF all day. That's great. There is no there is no DJ. I feel like if you're an RCF user, you are totally passionate about RCF. It just feels like anybody that owns RCF, you are in love with it. And I'm not saying that it's a justification for spending the money. You love your speakers, and more power to you. I've just listened to a whole bunch of speakers, and I think balance-wise, they're probably one of the most balanced. I truly believe that. They sound good, and they get loud, and they sound good loud. The one thing that I don't hear with RCFs, I don't hear the kick drum. I don't feel that as much as on other speakers. It doesn't hit me in the chest. Your subs should be hitting people in the chest when they're dancing. You know, Keith just says, guys, you do realize that CT's parties are nothing but dancing, pure energy all night long. Most do weddings where you bang for a couple of hours in venues that complain about the bass. This is very, very true. This is very, very true. I know you people are in barns. Yeah. And I get that part. He's absolutely right. And when I do my weddings, when I do those types of things, guess what I bring? My bows. You know, typically, regardless of the size, I bring my bows because I know they're going to have a problem anyway. If I'm at a venue where they send me a sound ordinance letter that I have to sign, I'm bringing my bows. If they already have that in their mind, the forethought that sound is going to be an issue, I'm not bringing anything bigger. That's just dumb. And Raz one Roy says to each his own, I rock with Yorks. Yeah, there are people that love their Yorks too. So what I'm saying is there's not one speaker to rule the world. Everybody hears their speakers a certain way, and it has to work for them. I like the sound coming out of the RCFs, but I do prefer the bass and other things. That's all. Yeah, but it's a great sound. I'm not saying it's not a great sound. Let's see here. Gregory says I use a pair of RCF Evox 8s. Originals work perfectly for mobile events here in the NYC. These are unique spaces, not proms or events like that. Yeah. Yeah. All of this is true. And I guess that's kind of my whole point that I was trying to make earlier. It's not the speaker that's ever the issue. I just want people to be honest when they say things. You know, there's a lot of people are just like, oh, this all day, best thing ever, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, no, it's not. It's the best for your situation. But there's a lot of different situations out there. So we have to make sure that, you know, when we're telling people that they need to buy, this is how I do my reviews. I don't tell people you need to buy something because every situation is different. You know, I can tell them how it works for me and why it works well for me or why it doesn't work well for me. But you're going to see something completely different. There are people right now that are buying Maui, 28s, M3s. They're buying them. That's their main systems. That could never be my main system. But you get that system for a cocktail party. You get that system for 75 people. Perfect. And the sound coming out of it, beautiful. Oh my God. The LD makes a really good sounding speaker. I cannot tell a lie. I'm so impressed by the sound that comes out of it. Now, again, size wise, there's a limit. So you can't go to, once you get to a certain limit, it's like, nope, you're good. And it stops. So, which means I can't use it for everything. But if it's appropriate to the amount of people, it's a great sound. That's a great sound. I think so far that has been my favorite sound coming out of any line array, any column array. And even with like when they did the RCF shootout, the RCFs were really good, but once I turned the DSP on the LDs for a large party, they hit better. They hit better, in my opinion. Okay. The JMAS lighting expert. Well, I mean, you got JMaz in your name. You better be a lighting expert, and it better be JMaz lighting. What about bass boss? Says Charlie. Bass boss. I've talked about bass boss before. Bass boss. I believe some of the best subwoofers on the planet. How can I let you know I'm Team QSC? I just spent the entire time talking about JBL. The only reason, okay, and I'll go back to bass boss in a minute. The only reason why I even went to QSC, this is God's honest truth, size. I wanted a more compact sub that hit just as well as my SRX 828 system. It's not exactly the same because the 828 is just on a different level, but the bass that's coming out of it is good enough. I don't like the sound coming out of the 818s on the SRXs. I just think it's weak. I honestly believe it's weak. So the 900s, I believe, came about. The 900s came about because the 818s weren't that good. The 828 was so good, nobody wanted the 818s. So I think the 900 is their apology for the 818. But the problem is the 900 is a big ass speaker. So it doesn't fit in my truck. I wanted something smaller that sounded just as good. That's the only reason why I went with QSC. Only reason. I would have stayed with JBL. But I need something that I can maneuver in my F-150 that I'm driving with all the time. Now, back to bass boss. Bass boss. The best subs, I believe, in the market. Best subs in the market. They sound best. They don't look good. They look okay. They're kind of ugly looking. But sound-wise, I don't think anything's better than the subs. Highs, I think they should just stick to subs. Just my opinion. They should just stick to subs. Anyway, JMass in the building. That's Will. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Hey, man, I still need to get out to industry, and we need to do some work, man. I have some new totems from Max Design, and I know you have some smaller but powerful moving heads, battery powered, which I would prefer. We need to talk about that. We need to make that happen. So I still have your card. I'm gonna text you. Let's make something happen. Because I can't keep talking about the Versaflex every day. I gotta bring my moving heads out too. My JBL seems to get too hot. What JBL are you using? Madness. Max XBL says an audio trend I think needs to be pushed back on is people using a speaker designed to be in a line array as if it's a point source. I've been seeing it lately and it hurts my every time. Yeah, this is very, very true. Very true. And I can't stand when people get, line arrays and they don't know how to use them. And we're talking traditional line arrays, not the small ones. I mean, if you're going to go that route, you better be an engineer and know how to make that sound good, because they're not designed to be good out of the box. If you want out of the box, that's why you buy, an SRX or a QSC, or even an RCF. But once you start getting up to those column rates, they want you to spec them out. They want you to tweak them, run them through the mixer, do all these things. You got to know what you're doing, and a lot of people don't know what they're doing, and their eyeballs turn into dollar signs and they just buy whatever it is. Okay. Let's see here. A couple more questions and then I need to go eat so I can get on my 1 o'clock call. Let's see here. Murat Oslo says, I'm an owner of the RCF and I would like to sell it. I have a QSC system as well. Big, huge. I believe it says quality difference. Sure thing. Okay. All right. My only issue is that, My only issue is this is what I see. I've seen this multiple times now at conferences. I like to listen to people, just kind of hear what they're saying. And there was one guy in general, and he was talking about. They have a 12-inch speaker, which I do think is a beautifully wonderful sounding speaker. Super small footprint. That RCF 12 is amazing. What's coming out of that thing? But there are people walking around like, oh yeah, so this sounds great. I'm gonna get like 4 of them and then run them all through the building. And I just sit there in just shock. Like, why would you spend? I mean, for some of these people, they're spending $40,000 on speaker systems, and they don't even need that much. Why bring? Look, if you're doing a cocktail party, okay, different situation. You want a consistent sound through the entire, landscape. Different. I completely understand that. Yeah, you want a uniform sound, go across the board. Fine. But if you were doing a party and people are like, well, if you run 4 of them versus 2, well, then they don't have to be as loud. Yes and no. If you're running 4 corners, fine. Maybe, yes, you're correct about that. But, a lot of people aren't doing that. They just have multiple speakers. Just get a better speaker, man. All right. That's enough of me venting. Phil 10 says, I've been hanging out with folks who use Martin, D&B, L acoustic speakers, and feel totally outclassed. Yeah, I've seen those too. I've gone to places like, we have the state of the art, and I get in there and they're rocking L acoustics or whatever, and then they have an engineer that does not know how to mix them, and they sound like crap. So when they're done right, nothing better. But it doesn't mean that they're going to be done right. Okay. Big Sam Candyman says, I'm in the middle of transitioning from non-powered speakers to powered. I don't see anything wrong with using non-powered subs with powered speakers. There's nothing wrong with doing anything. In all honesty, the only reason why people have gone powered is just because it's more convenient. That's it. Okay. In all honesty, all right, this is the truth. All right. My passive system still sounds better than every powered system I've ever owned. Okay. My passive system sounds better. My passive system was running JBL MRX tops 15s with QSC with Cerwin Vega earthquake, full earthquakes with what was I using here? With 2450 amps for the highs and the 4050s for the lows. To this day, nothing sounds better than that. Okay, the 828 and the SRX comes really damn close. All right, but there's a reason that passive systems work, honestly, there's a reason for that. But people got tired of seeing big ass subwoofers. They got tired of having big ass amp racks everywhere, taking up space. They're heavy, with those RMX 4050s, those things are so heavy. And I had them in one case. It was a nightmare, but they sounded really, really good. So, do what you got to do, man. I'm sure those powered subs hit like hell. The problem is you're rocking passive subs. It's gonna take a minute for you to get to a powered sub that you're like, you sound just as good. It's gonna take a minute. Okay. All right. Okay. 1250, guys. 1250, and I gotta post a video. This guy's freaking out on me. Okay. I am getting a lot of this is another YouTube video somebody wants me to do. Microsoft, we checked out your channel and thought you'd be perfect. That's a damn lie. You did not check out my channel and thought that Microsoft software is important. We want to work with you and pay you a certain amount of money from each sale of goods. The following are details of collaboration. Product link, Windows 11. Commission rate, 12%. So this is a thing that people are doing now. They're trying to not pay me to do videos like that. I'm not talking about all videos, but like these types, when you come to me like that, you're asking, you need to pay me. They don't pay me anything, but they want to pay me a fee. I'm not making any money off that crap. So no, I'm not doing it. You got to pay me at least a minimum fee. You have to. It's not, and I guarantee you it's not a scam, but nobody's buying Windows. So my commission rate's going to be trash. So why do the work? This is helping them. When people email me and say, hey, we have this Amazon gear that we want you to do. And it's, here, you can keep the product. It's $50. And I'm not going to use that product. It's $50 that I can't use because they didn't give me any money. The only people that are benefiting is you, the person that is selling a product. I'm not benefiting at all. So why do the work? I'd rather not have a video for a month than deliver these crappy products. Sorry. And if somebody's watching this video right now thinking that, hey, we saw your video, you're what we need. No, I'm not. I am not what you need. Amazon people, first off, you're going to give me the product. If the product is not a part of my compensation, I require the product in order to do the damn review. So you giving me the free product is bull. That has to happen regardless. So if I have to have the product, you're going to pay me, especially on a product that I know is not going to generate any views. You're going to pay me. All those views are for loyal fans of the channel that will watch that. I can get 1,000 to 2,000 views off of BS, off the dumbest stuff. But I'm going to pick and choose when I'm going to do that review. Okay? I'm going to pick and choose. And if at least with Newmark sends me a product, Rain sends me a product, the views are going to be good. I know this. I do know this. But if some off the market product wants me to do a review, you're going to pay me. Because you're not helping my channel. I'm only helping you. And I know that my reach is better than your reach. So pay. These people think they can get away with everything, man. I swear to God, they really do. All right. That is a rant, people. That's a rant that you can skip over. It doesn't apply to everybody. It applies to some people. But you can skip over that rant. All right, guys. Almost 3 hours on this show today. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. But I do have a 1 o'clock call, and I need to get some food in my belly before I get on this call. Is it even a call, or is it a Google Meet? Am I going to be stuck here right here? No, it's not. Google Meet's at 2:30. Okay. So, thank you guys for hanging out. As always, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button before you leave. Let's get these numbers up. And don't forget to support the channel by becoming a member, by delivering some super chats, taking care of, the person that you like listening to. I always appreciate it. All right, guys. So thank you guys for hanging out today. I have no real videos planned. I have some IG reels that are coming out in the next couple of days. So make sure you're following me on IG and TikTok, whatever. If you don't do it, it's fine. And yeah, I have a couple of gigs. If you're in LA, I'm performing at Mama Shelter on Sunday for Utopia. It's a Amapiano, groovy house, old school vibe. Oh, it's outdoors. It's a cool vibe. It should be a good time. That's on Sunday at Mama Shelter in Hollywood. If you want to come check it out, have a good time. All right, y'all. Anybody else? Thanks for hanging out today. I appreciate y'all. We'll see you soon. Have a great day. Have great parties this weekend. Peace out.